The low hum started in the basement, a subtle vibration that rattled the pipes and shook dust from the rafters. It was coming from the portal, a shimmering tear in reality that had appeared weeks ago, small and harmless. Now, it was growing, expanding with an unnerving speed that made the air itself feel heavy. The hum resonated through the very bones of the house, a promise of something terrible to come. Then, the real horror began. A montage of found footage flickers across the screen. A puddle on a main street swirls, the reflection twisting into another swirling vortex of light and shadow. A child's delighted face is seen in a shopping mall's glass facade. Then the glass shimmers, the reflection contorting into a portal that flickers to life. The child vanishes. One by one, then dozen by dozen, people were simply gone, swallowed by reflections that had turned against them. Chaos was a tidal wave that crashed over the town. Emergency broadcasts, once a source of comfort, became a harbinger of doom. Their signals fractured by screeching static and brief, terrifying glimpses of spindly limbs and too many eyes. Panic flooded the streets as the world turned into a funhouse of predatory mirrors. Amidst the bedlam, Ben, a local engineering student, made a breakthrough. Buried in his cluttered workshop, surrounded by oscilloscopes and salvaged equipment, he discovered the portals were not random. They were spreading through any reflective surface, water, glass, polished metal, and were drawn to a specific, high-frequency energy signature emanating from the original basement portal. The realization was terrifying, but it offered a sliver of hope. If they were drawn to a frequency, he theorized he could create a counter-frequency, a dissonant chord in their symphony of destruction that could collapse them from within. While Ben raced against time, his friends Liam and Chloe became reluctant survivors. They moved through the deserted streets, gathering medical supplies from a looted pharmacy and prying a crowbar from a hardware store's shattered door. They dodged creatures that slithered out of car mirrors and lunged from storefront windows, their movements impossibly fast. On their grim journey, they pulled stranded citizens from their hiding places, their small group a flickering candle of defiance in the encroaching darkness. The climax arrived not with a whimper, but with a sky-rending tear. A colossal portal, a monstrous, swirling wound of color and darkness, ripped open the heavens directly above the town square. From its depths, an army of the creatures poured forth, a torrent of nightmares descending upon the already broken town. The ground shook with their collective weight. Looking up from the street, the friends knew their small-scale efforts were meaningless against such an overwhelming force. Their only hope, their one desperate, final gamble, was to broadcast Ben's counter-frequency directly into the heart of the storm. They had to use the town's emergency broadcast tower, the tallest structure for miles, and turn it into a weapon. The fight to the tower was a brutal, desperate scramble through streets swarming with the otherworldly invaders. They reached the base and clawed their way up the maintenance ladder, the creatures climbing right behind them. At the top, amidst the howling wind and the deafening shriek from the portal above, Ben frantically connected his device to the broadcast system. He slammed a button, and a new sound cut through the chaos, a deep, resonant pulse that shook the tower to its foundations. The effect was immediate. The massive portal in the sky wavered, becoming unstable. Across the devastated town, the smaller portals in windows and puddles began to crack like glass, shattering into nothing. A collective shriek of agony echoed from the creatures as their gateways home were destroyed, just as the main portal began to implode, folding in on itself with the force of a dying star. A single gigantic claw of obsidian blackness lashed out from the collapsing vortex. It wrapped around Liam, yanking him off his feet and pulling him into the vanishing light. The portal slammed shut, silencing the world in an instant. All that was left was a horrified Chloe and a stunned Ben, standing alone at the top of the tower, in a silent, devastated town, forever haunted by the friend they had lost.